Hello, welcome to my channel today. I'm Stephanie and we're in my sewing room right now, and I have a wonderful little tour that I want to take you on of my dream closet. So I know that I could talk a lot, and if you follow my channel you're kind of used to that, but I'm not going to torture you with a lot of talk. I'm going to take you right on this tour right now. So let's just take a look at the closet, and then I'm going to take you on the journey of how it got there. Are you ready to see my dream closet? This tour begins with this beautiful crystal doorknob that I got on Amazon, and then we walk in. Now right down here is a sensor, so if I start to walk in, that light comes on, and then over there is another sensor, so if I get a little closer, that light comes on. Let's see if I can get it to set off. Okay, and then those lights come on. So there are 3 strips of motion sensor detected lighting, and it stays on for about 2 or 3 minutes. Right in the center I have a little stool because I like to sit and put on my shoes. And so here's the tour. I have a mirror on this door so I can see what I'm trying on. And then we come in, and up high there's a shelf that has some purses, and it also has some hats. So if I make a new hat, I have to take an old hat out. That's all that will fit there. But I have the strip lighting behind it, which I think is really cool. Really cool. Then on this side I have 2 racks of clothing, and how that works is out of season's in the back, in season is in the front. So when I decide, I just switched from, summer to winter. So now I have winter and all season is in the front and only summer in the back. And they're not the same height. So I can see the back shelf because it's like about that much higher back there. So I can see it, which I think is pretty cool. And then down below is my boot collection, which is lit from behind. And then over here are pants. So these are long dresses and long tunics, then pants and long skirts, and then tops and wraps and jackets are there. And it's a little bit of a lower rack. See, I went off because that sensor is right there and I'm outside the door. So if I walk in, it comes on. That's pretty cool. Now on this side is a shoe rack. Let me show you this light right here. So this is a cute little flat chandelier. And when I turn that on, I get a little more light. I don't usually use it because these motion lights are enough. And my shoe shelf was built by my husband just for my shoes. And he built it many years ago, and it's always been in my closet, but it was never painted. So I painted it just for this closet. He measured my shoes. I don't have a lot of heels, so only these first 2 or 3 shelves are tall enough for a tall shoe. So if I have extras, I just turn them on their side right there, you can see. And some of the shoes I wear a lot. Some of them are just decoration. These are my mother-in-law had from India. So not to wear, but I think they're cute. And so there's my shoes, a lot of black. And I put the tennies and the flip-flops on the bottom. So I have a boot collection. I usually buy a new pair of boots every fall just to add in, and then I get rid of something I don't like. Obviously I don't get rid of a lot, but I have a lot of favorites. Down here in my boots, I found this really cool idea to put pool noodles in boots to make them stay standing up. So I'd like to cover those with fabric, and I want to make some sachets and put them around too. That would be fun. And then around here is, I've got some shelves, and it has just some pretty things like some jewelry boxes and my purse collection, and then down below is just some miscellaneous. Purse collection, something I really enjoy. So I have some vintage and some not. That's vintage, and these 2 behind it are not, but they're pretty. And this was my grandma's little powder thingy, and it plays music. Vintage. I believe my daughter bought that for me. And then this was something actually that belongs to her. I bought her this in Hong Kong. This is not vintage. And this little brown one, it's kind of, you can kind of see it's kind of a brushed velvet, is vintage. And another thing from my grandma's house. And then this one, vintage, but doesn't that just make you think of like Audrey Hepburn? Just love that little envelope clutch. Vintage. Oopsie. Backwards. And also vintage, and also not vintage. This one's something I bought, but this one's vintage. But I love my purse collection. It's so special. Just love it. Are you wondering what's holding up the hats? This one has a couple rolls of toilet paper holding it up. And then I think I have a couple of coffee cans and some protein shake containers. And even if you can see it, you just don't notice it. That's what's holding up the hats. Some of these purses are not special. None of those are special. This was something from the 80s that I saved because it was special to me. I made this one in a collab with Granny's Sewing Room. This is a cool purse that I made. I saw someone, I can't reach it. She was in a sewing guild meeting and she had a purse like this. And I got the directions on how to make it, and I made it. It's knitting with batik, and the tags are just part of when you end your rows, and then you line it inside, and I put some extra pockets in there. I just love that purse. I still love that purse. And back up to purses. This is another knitted purse that I made. It's kind of just a little bucket purse with a big bow on it. Let's see if I can show you that. And then this is a backpack purse that I have a video about. It won't stand up. It needs a little bit more structure to it. This purse right here has the letters that supposedly say Dior, but it's a knockoff, so it doesn't really say Dior. And I saw a picture in the tabloids in the 80s of Princess Diana holding a purse like this. And so this is my Princess Diana purse. That's what it is. Hat-wise, I made this one, and it is reversible, and that's it. So I think I should make some more hats. What do you think? I'm going to kind of come over here to miscellaneous and show you another thing I made. I have gloves. Let's see if I can find a pair. Where are you, gloves? Here's a pair. I think I'm going to go on another glove making binge this year because these are so fun to wear, and I have lots of remnants to use. I also made some little scarves with some of my remnants that are just to go around your neck and kind of keep your neck warm. So I have matching gloves and a little scarf. Those are just a few of the things I've made. This is where the motion sensor is plugged in right here. I didn't have a plug inside that fit that. And then basically it's triggered right there. And it goes all the way down below. See it there? And then it goes up to the top of this shoe rack. Let's see if I can back up a little. And then it goes down the shoe rack, down to the floor, and they meet up. These two, there's one that goes this way and one that goes this way, and they meet up right there somewhere. So this is a sensor right there. It can't be behind the boots or it won't go off. And so that's for that one. And it goes all the way around and down below and underneath. See, kind of see it through there. It goes underneath all of these. It's nice. It just lights it up. And then up here, there's a sensor in this corner. And when that's triggered, this light goes off. I just love that effect. These are the little fabric bows that I made to go on my hangers. Give it a little bit of color to go with my blue and white theme, which is my shoe rack. And if I close the door, the lights go off in about a minute. So this is my dream closet that I just love so much. What do you think? So what do you think? It's my dream closet, but I just love it. So the journey goes like this. This sewing room and the story behind it is the beginning of that closet. If you haven't seen the playlist of this sewing room coming together, I have a playlist of all the projects that we did to make this room come together. And there were a lot of them. And so if you want to, I'm gonna put a little click to that sewing room playlist. So what happened was pandemic came, we were quarantined like everybody else, and I took on the project of turning this room into my sewing room. Before that, it was in that closet. So that closet is kind of big. It's, I thought I was going to write it down. It's 10 by 7.5 in size, and then it's only 7 feet tall, so it's got a low ceiling. And it's been many things. Many things. When we moved into this house, my husband grew up in this house. It was old when we got here, and it was old when they got here. So that cellar was part of the original structure, and it was a creepy cellar with stairs that were like broken and falling apart. It was like something out of a bad movie. So I never liked going into that cellar at all. It was just a creepy place. And when the downstairs basement got renovated and turned into living space, that room turned into a room. Too small to be a room, too big to be a closet. So it was my closet where I put my clothes for many years. And then as happens when your kids grow up, some of my kids moved back in and I needed to make room for them. So I cleared out this room, they moved in, my sewing room, moved downstairs into that little space, and I loved it. I loved it. And it was crammed in. I had all kinds of stuff in there. I have an organizing video. I have a couple of sew-alongs that were filmed in there so you could see that room. And when I moved into this room, that left that space. I have to tell you the truth. When I moved out of that sewing room and into this one, all I brought was the stuff I really wanted, and it left that kind of room a wreck. And so I eventually had to address all the stuff I didn't want and kind of just cleaned it out and turned it into a storage room. And it had, I bought some big, huge shelves from Lowe's and big bins, and we were storing all kinds of stuff in there. And it sort of became a catch-all, and it wasn't really useful. It just seemed like a place where we would just throw stuff, and it really just was like kind of a wasted space. So I decided to reclaim it as my closet. The first thing we did is I just cleaned it out, got everything out, and found other places for all those things to go. And one of them was where my closet currently was. So I took all my clothes and shoes and everything out of the closet that it was in, and I moved all the storage stuff in there, and I took over this room. And hubby helped me paint it. Well, actually, hubby did most of the painting. I think he did he did all the work. So he painted it white. Oh, it looked so nice, just painted, so nice. And it had some rickety shelves. I took those out. I had all my sewing stuff on these rickety shelves that were just in there forever. Took those out. In there, I had some racks from my first closet, and they were made out of pipe. Very sturdy pipe. And so we moved where the racks were, and I got a couple of more, and that's where the clothes were going to hang. And I chose to do something different in that it was a big room, and I didn't want a big space in the middle wasted that I'm just not using. So what I did is on the end I made two racks, one for out of season and one for in season. So you saw that in the tour. And then the further back rack is a little higher than the one in the front, so I can see them both really well. And then a lower rack for my jackets and tops. And then a shelf all the way around the top. So that was all done. And then I had some shelves in there I just took out. I didn't need them. But hubby many years ago built me a shoe rack, a custom shoe rack. He just made it up, and it was never painted.
I just never painted it, never thought about it. I was not into decorating. And so I decided to paint that shelf for that closet. It was actually my son's idea to make it part blue and part white because I love the blue theme. Obviously here, it's all throughout my house, blue, blue, blue. So I painted my shoe shelf and oh my gosh, it became the showpiece. Just beautiful. And I'm showcasing my purses and my hats and my vintage purses, and it's just been so fun to have all of these things. Just, it's a delightful place to go in. Just delightful. So that was kind of done, and things were the way they were, and I had this idea after I did the shoe shelf. I wanted to get a really cute chandelier in there, but the thing is, it's a really low ceiling, and you can't really put a dangling chandelier in there. So I finally found one that was really flat. They make them that way for low ceilings, and it just seemed like hubby really never had time to put that in. I think I had that for like a year. This closet thing has been a little bit at a time for like 1 to 2 years. So he finally hung up my chandelier, and it just looked so great. And I had just worked on some lighting for my trailer, and it turned out so good that I started looking at maybe some lighting for the around in my closet, and that's when I got the idea to do motion sensor lights. So I did all the motion sensor lights myself, and they just kind of come on a roll, and they have a sticky back, and you just stick them. You kind of wipe down the area you're going to stick, and you stick them to the wall, and then as long as that sensor can be, the motion sensor can be tricked, you know, set off when you walk in. You can't hide it. It has to be within, you know, physical distance. Then, so I have 3. And I want to complain about one of those lights because I measured everywhere I wanted it to go, and I had a 16-foot going around the top, kind of an L, and then I wanted to go all the way around and around that shoe shelf, and 34 was going to fit it perfect, so I bought a 34. Well, that's not what it is. It's 2 16s in that box. So what that means is you have to have a plug. And I only had one plug on one side, and it wasn't going to reach all the way to the other side. So I don't love it, but there is that one that goes on the shoe rack side. It actually, that plug is outside of that room. It's not perfect, but that's how I had to do it because it didn't reach any other way because that plug was only on one side. Little things. But I love my motion lights. I bought some more, and I'm going to put them in my bathroom. So you walk in there and it just comes on, stays on for a minute or 2, and then goes off. It's just so nice. Oh, I love it. I wanted to decorate, but I didn't see any closets that I liked, like on Pinterest. So I wanted fabric in my closet to give it a theme, to give it a color, to go with the blue and white. And so I picked some cotton, and I just made little bows. Basically, I sewed some long tubes, and then I cut them in the lengths I wanted, and I turned them with a little turn set that you get at Joann's. You just put thing on there, and you push with a little stick, and it turns it. And I got to where I didn't even really hem. Some of them I didn't even hem. I just cut them, and I made a whole bunch of bows. And so they're all the same length, and I just tied a bow on a hanger, and I just feel like it just makes me happy to see a little bit of fabric in there.
Before I settled on my bows, I thought I might do these, but they took forever to make and a lot of fabric. And then once you put the clothes on them, you couldn't see the fabric. So it was just like that didn't really suit the purpose of seeing the fabric. Like I just love seeing these bows. They're not all the same fabric, but they're all the same kind of color family.
I think I mentioned in my video that I want to cover my pool noodles that are inside my boots, and I think I might like do a little ribbon and have it kind of like a present, like when you wrap a present, kind of sticking out. I think that would be cute. And then I want to do some sachets. I did some little birds, some stuffed birds, and I think they'd be cute in there as sachets. So I've got some research to do on that, but I'm not done. There's so many things you can just play with in there. But one of the things I do every year is in the season I change my clothes out, and I only have the season that's current in there. And it's kind of fun because then my clothes get a rest, and when I bring them out for spring, they're new again. Or when I bring them out for winter, they're new again. And so when I walk in my closet, I want to be able to wear everything I'm looking at. Do I? No. So when I go in to change my wardrobe, I turn all my hangers backwards. I think I've done a video on this, but I can show you what it looked like this year because I did a little bit of video to show where my hangers were.
So the hangers that are facing forward in the normal way are the ones I actually wore. But if they're still turned backwards, then I didn't wear them at all this whole season. So there's a lot that are turned backwards that I didn't wear.
And I don't wear most of my clothes. I don't. I wear the same things all the time. And you have to decide at that point, how long can that garment take up real estate in that closet if you're not going to wear it for whatever reason. So at some point it needs to go. And so what I used to do is I put all those clothes in bins and put them in a closet so they were out of sight, out of mind. And I do the switch over, which was kind of a lot of work. So this time all I had to do was just reach in and pull forward the summer and put back the winter. I mean backwards. Put back the summer and pull back the winter. It was all there. And what's cool about that is if we have a couple warm days, I can still see all my summer clothes. I can grab for something. And if I go on traveling in the summer and I need a coat or something warm, it's right in view. I just love my new closet. I love these two racks. Love it. And so it only took me like 20 minutes to switch over where it would have took a half a day to go through all my stuff. Oh my gosh, that was fun. So that's pretty much my dream closet. I hope you've enjoyed my little tour. And if you're new to my channel and you found me through this closet, here's what I like to talk about. I like to talk about sewing, whether it's for home decor, glamping up a trailer, or my garments. My garments are the favorite thing to make. And I love to just talk about life on Fridays, sewing in life. And I have a glamped up trailer and, you know, things around the house too. So you never know what you're going to get here. So hit that subscribe button and please give me a thumbs up and let's visit in the comments. I love visiting in the comments. Let me know what you think of my dream closet. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.